Hi, this is Shaquita with Sweet Rubies, and today I will be showing you how to make this TikTok cake. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching. To begin, you will need black fondant, hot pink fondant, white fondant, and a teal or turquoise fondant. You will also need to print out two of the TikTok Musically logos. You're going to roll out your fondant. You're going to take one of the logos and you are going to trace it with a knife or an X-Acto knife as I'm using here. You're going to put that to the side. On the second printed logo, you are going to cut out the Musically icon. As you see here, I'm going to roll out a piece of pink fondant and trace that out as well. Okay, you're going to put the pink Musically spot onto the corner of the black fondant that you cut out. You'll also take the music logo, which I cut out of one of the printed pieces, and I'm going to use that one logo to cut out the pink, white, and blue portions. So you'll just repeat this for each. Now that you have all three cut out, I took one of my copied paper pieces and put it under my parchment paper so I can just gauge how to stack each of the colored music icons on top of each other. It took me a couple of tries, but I finally figured it out. So I got the pink down first and then the white, and then I moved those two and put the blue on the bottom and then stacked the other two pieces on top. Once it dries a bit, you can go back and clean it up. But there's my logo. Next, you'll go ahead and place it in the middle of the black fondant piece. You'll need to roll out a very, very, very thin piece of white fondant for the Musically icon. Okay, you will make the squiggly lines as close as possible. I did the best possible job that I could with such a small space, and I think it turned out okay. And now to make the band for the headphones, you will take your blue fondant. I am using CMC powder. You can use Talos powder. That's just to harden it a bit. And you are going to roll it. Then you'll flatten it out and you'll cut a strip. I'm using this on a 6-inch cake, so it didn't have to be too big. I am actually using my multi-cutter, but you can use a knife or an X-Acto knife or whatever you need to use in order to make the band. I'm just cleaning up the edge, cutting it off, and then I'll set it to the side and I will make the part to go over the ears. Now to make the part that goes on your ears, you'll need to roll out a thin piece of the blue fondant. And then you're going to use a 2-inch circle cutter and just cut in a circle. Then you're going to roll the blue fondant out again, but this time it's going to be a little thicker. You don't need it as thin because this is the cushion part for the ears. As you can see, it's thicker. You'll do this 2 times, and then you'll make 2 thin pieces of the pink, and you'll cut little slits in the middle or close to the middle. As you can see, my center is a little off. And you'll cut that piece out. You'll place the pink on top of the thin blue. And then you will use, you can use a cutter if you have one, but I'm actually using a large piping tip. And I am cutting out the center of the thicker blue 2-inch circles. You're going to take the band and you're going to press it inside of the portion that you cut out of the pink fondant. Then you'll put the other piece of blue with the holes on top. And then you'll need to, because it is still wet, you'll need to set it up on something in order for it to dry. Then we'll move on while that's drying a bit to icing our cake. We have a 6-inch cake here. It is already crumb coated in a light pink, but you can do it in a white or whatever color you want to do. I am using a turquoise and a hot pink buttercream. On the bottom portion of the cake, so we're going to go about half the way up with the blue icing and then the rest of the way with the pink icing. You will need the smoothest sides of the cake. In hindsight, I should have done the top of the cake first. Don't know why I didn't, but I should have done that first and I didn't. But it still turned out okay. So I would suggest that you go ahead and put the pink on the top of the cake and smooth that out first before you use your cake comb. So this is the cake comb and the design that I'm using. So you'll keep just going around with the cake comb and then filling in any spots that has any bubbles or holes, and using your cake comb until it's as even as you can get it or that you like it. For the decorations on the cake, I am just using black candy melts that I melted in a piping bag in the microwave. I am taking a microfoam mold and I am filling it with the black chocolate. You need to make sure that you tap your molds in order to get out any air bubbles. I'm also using these music picks. They stick directly in the cake. I only need a couple, but I always make extra, which is a great tip. I always make extra of everything, one of or two, just in case one breaks or you end up deciding you want to use more than what you need. I am also using these music molds. I'm going to set them in the freezer for about 15 minutes. When I pop them out, they were nice and hard. I am using some silver Lux luster dust. I cannot speak today, forgive me. And I am just dry brushing it. And because I'm using a 6-inch cake, the microphone was a bit longer than I needed it to be. So I cut it off. And now I am unmolding all of my chocolate decorations. And once I have them all out of the mold, I will place them back in the refrigerator until I need them. I'm going to put water, just lightly brush with water on the back of my TikTok logo. My cake has already crusted. It's been in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. I placed my earphones on top of the cake using toothpicks, but I noticed that it was a little saggy because it was not all the way dry. I should have done them days before, but because this was a last minute request from a friend, I did not get a chance for them to properly dry. So I decided that I would take them out and sit them on the top. As you can see, when I took them out, it left a hole in the buttercream on the top of the cake, which is an easy fix. I am placing a few of the chocolate music notes on the side of the cake. I put the microphone on a skewer and then dip the skewer in chocolate to make a mic stand, and that will go in the middle. Another tip is that you can use your gloved finger to smooth out any imperfections that you have. Here is the microphone on the mic stand. It looks great, but I did notice before I put the pics on that the headphones were not straight. I did not like that, so I decided that I was going to take them off again. Yeah, you see the hose. But this is another tip. You can fill that with icing. I am just taking a regular brush and I am brushing it flat. Just take off the excess. And it doesn't really matter because the headphones are going to go back on and it is going to cover the spot that we just patched. I was going to use a chocolate happy birthday, but I decided that it would be better if I just wrote it. I'm going to add pics behind the microphone. I love the way this little cake turned out. I am going to end up adding an A, which is the letter of the teen's name, on the outside of the headphones, and then I am done. This is how it turned out. I am in love with this little TikTok cake.